rich, putting the K in magic. I'm Joanna DeVoe, and you're watching a video about the suspension of disbelief. The suspension of disbelief is something that I'm willing to bet that you have put into practice many, many times. You are suspending your disbelief every time you go to see a movie or read a book, especially something that is a fantasy thriller or something of a supernatural nature. Maybe if you go to see an illusionist or magician, you are agreeing for a period of time to suspend your disbelief so that you can enjoy the show and you can go along on the ride and have fun, because it's not very fun to go see a movie if you're just sitting there going, that could never happen. He would never do that. That could never happen. You really have to set aside your skeptic's hat for a period of time in order to enjoy yourself. What I'm proposing, and what I think would be a lot of fun, and possibly even enlightening, is to suspend disbelief for 30 days. 30 days of magical thinking. And you can apply this to something very practical in your life. I just saw someone on Pinterest. There was a pin with like a girl with a rockin' bikini body, and someone had commented below, if I could be guaranteed to look like that, I would do whatever it takes. And I just thought, A, nobody can guarantee you that, and B, you're probably not going to do anything because you think it's not possible. But what if the person who wrote that comment suspended her disbelief for 30 days and acted as though having that body was possible? What would she do? She said she'd do anything, so would she clean up her diet? Would she start working out? And I think it could apply to, you know, saving money and investing, you know, practical aspects of your life, but also it could just be a really fun experiment in terms of something that you're just kind of curious about, like, I don't know, I used to always get accused of being gullible because I would just dive right into anything, and I was just so open and willing to believe. And funny enough, that attitude actually yielded me some results. I explored things like channeling and EFT, lucid dreaming. What's another good one? I did a lot of chakra work. And before I had read any books or heard any arguments about whether or not this stuff is real, it worked for me. And I think it has a little bit to do with having the faith of a child or beginner's luck. You'll have people say, when you don't know what's possible, anything is possible. And I was thinking, I have become quite the skeptic. I have a lot of friends who believe in angels and fairies, or who feel the power of the goddess working in their lives, and I don't. Those are things that just don't resonate with me, but every once in a while I'll get in the mood and I'll be like, I wish I believed in fairies. I posted something funny on my Facebook about, I don't know, I was doing a lot of cleaning for Imulk, and I was like, where are my magical, you know, cleaning fairies? And I posted this picture of these fairies that were sweeping, and a friend of mine wrote back something to the effect of, well, they're all gone because nobody believes in them anymore. And I thought that was actually pretty profound. I started thinking, what would happen if I did believe in fairies? The goddess has been very interesting to me because I can see the value in it, and I've even done a little bit of setting aside my disbelief for a while to see if I could experience some goddess energy, and so far I can't say that I've ever had like a really strong direct connection with the goddess, but I've made some headway, and I've had some sort of eerie and a cool magical way experiences where I had like prayed to a goddess and then my prayer was answered. And I have friends that speak to angels and talk about the angels guiding them, or that they even saw an angel, and they're so genuine about it. And these are people that I respect and that I'm friends with, but I am just not like on the same page with them with the angel thing. But I do wonder sometimes, like, maybe there are angels. Maybe they're seeing something that I can't. I've seen ghosts before, so what's the difference? Maybe we're seeing the same thing and just labeling it something else. I don't know. But I thought it'd be fun to propose this little experiment so that we could all just try on something that we're curious about or interested in, but that maybe we're a little bit skeptical about. I think that in terms of personal development and healing, that EFT would be an amazing thing to try if you're a little skeptical about it. In fact, I'll make a video about EFT next week, as long as you promise not to laugh at me, because it's very strange. It involves tapping on yourself at various pressure points, but it mysteriously works, and I would not come on YouTube and tell you this if it was something that I hadn't experienced many times myself. And that's really the point. You can study, you can understand something intellectually, you can approach something from a very logical point of view and read all of the different arguments, but you're never going to have a deep understanding of it in here until you experience it for yourself. And you're never going to experience it for yourself if you can't set aside your skepticism for a moment and really give yourself over to the process. And I was thinking 30 days is just a cool amount of time to devote to something like that and have it still feel like fun, like it's a little experiment. And then at the end of the 30 days, you can put your skeptic's hat back on and use your critical thinking to examine your results. Maybe you want to keep a notebook of your experiences and then sit down and go over your notes at the end of the month and see how it worked out for you. I know that a lot of gyms offer 30-day memberships. So if you're someone who thinks, you know, I'm just stuck in this body and I'm always going to look like this, and what's the point in working out? I'm barely going to lose any weight, or I'm barely going to lift my ass up off the back of my thighs. Maybe go get one of those 30-day memberships and really apply yourself and work out as if you might achieve the results that you're aiming for. And who knows, maybe at the end of the 30 days you'll make so much progress that you'll want to keep going. And if at the end of the days you have not seen the results you want, what's lost? You still have a good story to tell, and you still experienced something, and you can say from a personal point of experience, this does not work for me. I think the law of attraction would be an amazing thing to apply this to, because I just get a lot of flack for the law of attraction. People don't believe it could actually work, or they'll just roll their eyes and be like, oh, The Secret. And it's more involved than what is mentioned in The Secret. You can go back and watch my old videos about that if you want to see how it's done, if you don't know very much about the law of attraction. But it doesn't bother me when people don't believe in it, because I just think, sucks for you. Because I know it works. It's something that I've been doing for years, and it's magical, it's mysterious, but it's also exciting and very effective. So I recommend maybe setting aside your skepticism to try a month of the law of attraction to see how that works in your life. And I will bet at the end of 30 days you have some pretty fun, interesting stories to tell, and maybe even a miracle or two to report, which totally reminds me, and I'm going to run off on a little tangent before I go. I had a period in my life where I got into Nichiren Buddhism. You may have heard the phrase before, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and that is a chant. And Nichiren Buddhism, it's more complicated than this, but when you very first learn about it, it is completely out there, but very enticing, because the promise is that if you sit and chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo with an intention, some people do it looking at a little altar. Oh, I'm forgetting the word. I wish I could remember right now, because that would be way cooler. They're looking at an image and they're chanting, but I just closed my eyes and chanted and imagined what I wanted. This was in my pre-Law of Attraction days, and I just wanted to see if it would work, if I could actually like get what I wanted, and it did. And I was shocked, and it worked really, 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 really well. But then I started reading more into it, and more rules started getting involved, and you have to do it this way, and you have to do it that way, and you need to do it so many times. That suspension of disbelief started leaving me, but weirdly enough, that had some very interesting results for me. And I've done some Ganesh chanting, the remover of obstacles. He has a chant that I still do sometimes, and that stuff just works. It's magic. We don't need a logical explanation for the more magical aspects of life. And I think magic is part of what makes life so much fun, and that you're really missing out if you always approach life from a very logical, left-brainy, everything has to be linear and perfect. You're just going to miss out on so much of the wonder and the fun and the playfulness of life, and just that sense of amazement when something actually works that maybe shouldn't work according to science or your parents or your teacher at school. If you experience it for yourself, you know in your heart that it happened. You don't need to prove it to anybody else. It's just something that you get to hold in your heart and carry with you as you move forward. So maybe you'd like to try this little experiment. It was just a fun idea I had that I wanted to propose to you. And I'm not trying to make light of the seriousness of life. There are serious aspects. We all have our responsibilities. I have many myself. It's just nice to balance that out with the lightness of being. So if you try my little experiment, let me know. I would love to know what you are going to apply the suspension of disbelief to and how it works out for you. Much love. Peace.